Hey, Sammy G.
John?
You've heard of the Mississippi blues, right?
Sure have.
You've heard of the Chicago blues?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe even the New Orleans blues?
St. Louis blues too.
But guess what? You know where blues really started?
Africa?
Deep in the heart of Canada, Manitoba, specifically Winnipeg, which is where I've traveled to make this video, to find some blues secrets with the master right here.
Here I am.
You ready to do this? Let's
am.
give them a little taste of what's to come. 2, 3, 4. So we got some fire blues tips for you. Mm-hmm. And in true Canadian fashion, all of these are going to be in the key of A.
A.
That's pretty good, right? Should I start off with one? I'll start with one.
Okay, yeah.
All right, so let's take this guy right here.
Okay.
A7, 5 on the E string, 4 on the A string, 5 on the D string, 6 on the G string. You know what's really sad is when people just hang on the one chord forever. We've all been there, you know?
A little boring to solo.
And it's like, are you ever gonna go to the 4 chord? Maybe it's just 12 bars of just an A, and it's like, come on. So this is gonna be kind of a two-part. First of all, do this. 2, 3, 4, and 1. 2, 3, 4, and 1. Right? So on the and of 4, you just go back a fret, and then just get
or
it.
you can flip it around and go up. You know
That's a nice one. That's
what you're doing there.
What
Tension and release.
Oh, that's a word.
There's release, and then it's tense and feels wrong. And it kind of releases the tension, releases back.
Just like the authorities have to release a moose back into the wild after it's been causing traffic jams.
Yeah.
Actually, it was a goose when you picked me up from the airport. That was legit the first thing I saw in Canada.
Yeah.
A goose running a track. But here's the second part of this tip. I don't want to get too much into the wildlife yet. We'll get there. This one. Okay, so this is kind of a fun one. So it's like you take essentially the flat 5 of the A, so you go to the 6th fret, and you make this little.
It's tension and release again.
There we go.
It's like approaching.
Man. Right?
Yeah.
But this is all happening in the 1 chord, so I can go like 1 chord, 1 chord, 1 chord, something else, and back to the 1 chord.
Oh,
then if I go to the 4 chord. 1 chord. Ba, 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 da. I think this is very helpful for solo acoustic blues. I mean, you can still solo over and stuff like that. Right? See? You know?
I've actually never done that in my life.
See? This is the tips, man.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's a good one. See? You're learning something.
Yes.
How about you got a tip for us?
Yeah, are we doing like, instead of trading blues licks, we'll trade some blues tips here?
Yeah, man, I love it. Okay,
so we're still in the key of A for this one. So my tip is when you go up to the 4 chord, which would be the D7, your first bar of that in the 12-bar blues would be just typical D7, 2, 3, and then at the end of that, you use your thumb to walk up. So you get a D7 over F sharp. So in context, here's what you have. We're coming out of the 1 chord, the A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. Back to the A. So that root motion there really adds a lot of spice to that one. Yeah, a lot of flavor. Love that one.
That is spicy.
Yeah, you want me to do another one? You got another one?
I got another tip for you, and it has to do with a lot of the spice that you've been firing out here. This man's an incredible cook. This guy's got a lot of skills: gardening, cooking, blues licks. Where'd you learn all these skills, bro?
Well, some of the gardening stuff, I'm not gonna lie, was on Skillshare because I feel like this is where
what
this
do you mean
is going.
This is the segue to the sponsor of the video, Skillshare. Guess what? You can sign up for a free trial with the link in my description. Really helps me out because it covers the customs fees for all the stuff I'm going to be bringing back from Canada to America.
Oh, yeah?
So if you've never checked out Skillshare, you got to check it out because you can get... You taking cooking and like gardening
No,
classes.
I've actually taken a lot of Skillshare classes. I've worked with them a bunch. I'm genuinely a huge fan of what they do. I can tell you some of the tips that I learned. So if you're making a pasta, one of the things that you're doing for making a tomato-based one is you actually use the vines from your tomatoes and you chuck them in the pasta for a little bit of extra flavor. Or when you're cooking your noodles, cook them not quite to al dente. You cook them a little bit less, and then you finish them in the sauce itself.
Really? Yeah. You learned that from a Skillshare
I
class?
actually did. Yeah.
That's actually kind of amazing.
Yeah, I got a bunch of them. I actually like used the tips that the lady taught me.
That's amazing. So you can learn that. You can learn gardening. You've got
Yeah.
beautiful garden beds out back. Those are fantastic.
Yeah, I did take a gardening one on Skillshare too.
There we go. See, he knows. I've taken some blues ones off Skillshare.
Oh yeah?
They've got a ton of blues classes on Skillshare.
Nice.
Anyways, that's my next tip. You got to sign up for Skillshare. Hit the affiliate link because, again, they support a bunch of videos of both of ours. They're friends. They're friends of the channels.
Friends of the shows.
You know what I mean? So yeah, get yourself some Skillshare. Hit us with another tip.
I thought you were doing one.
That was my tip. Sign up for Skillshare.
I see. Okay, I'm going back to it. All right, so let's say we're still back in the A blues here, and I think most of the stuff we're going to look at today is based around like the rhythm side of this thing.
Okay.
So A blues, what we're going to do is we're going to anticipate the 4 chord. So you got 4 bars to start off in the blues. A, 4 bars. Then you go to the D for 2 bars. So on the 4th bar of the A here, we're going to walk up to the D, like kind of chromatically. So here's what it sounds like. Bar 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Bar 2, 2, 3, 4. Bar 3, 2, 3, 4, and bar 4. Sean Daniel tip right there.
There we go. There.
And then you're that's a tip. It's setting up that D chromatically, doing a little bass line there.
So you go like what, 4 frets back, I guess?
You start off with your A. You're thinking, here's my root note, and you don't go 1 fret up. You go 2 frets up there,
Okay, so
and then
a
you
whole
just
step from where
chromatically
you start, and then one
just-
at a time from there.
Yeah, it's great.
It's spicy. That's great.
I got a second. This is like part B of this tip. If you want to expand that, so let's keep that little run there in mind. 1, 2, 3. You can turn those into chords. So we're spicing those up. So you start off with your A.
Okay.
Then you go up to a B minor 7.
Okay.
And then you go up to a C diminished.
Oh.
And then you go up to a C sharp minor 7. So you're basically just turning each one of those notes into a chord. And that pushes you right into the D7.
Okay. I like that a lot. So technically it would be like a diatonic 2 to 3 chord with that little 2.5. I call that a 2.5 chord.
Which one's 2.5?
So like if you've got A to
B minor 7,
that,
you have to C diminished.
Yeah, the diminished, I call that a 2.5 because it sits between 2 and 3. I call it 2.5 because it's not technically.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
So yeah.
Yeah, I mean that kind of shows you how people think of that differently. Because I'm always thinking that dominant 7s are kind of, if you were to think of this as coming from the key of D. Oh man, we're gonna get into the theory.
Oh boy.
Here. Okay, we're gonna try to keep this a little bit brief. If you think of this coming from the key of D, because that's where the A7 comes from.
Right.
Diatonically, you would have, so you have the 5 chord, which is the A7. Then you have the 6 chord, which is the B minor 7. And then diminished chords always push to the note that's a half step higher. So now you're pushing up to the C sharp minor 7. So you're basically just going chromatically, but throwing a leading chord in there.
You go.
To push the C sharp minor 7 to push the D9 or D7. Oof. There you go.
So it's just like, we think differently in Canada versus the States sometimes. The way that I think about that is like, I just think when you're playing the blues, everything's just a 7 chord.
Yeah.
Like we're not diatonic, like everything's set, right?
It's the same idea.
There you go.
Same sounds, just a bit of a different way of phrasing it.
There you go. My next tip, this is abstract. Ready for this?
Yeah.
You can't play the blues. You gotta feel the blues. Right? That's just the tip. Learn to feel the blues. Go. There we go.
We were jamming the other day.
Yeah?
Jenny, who's manning that camera, told me that every time I'm about to play a stanky lick, I make a face.
It helps.
Good job.
So here's the real tip. All right. So we're in A. I'm always thinking A minor pentatonic, right? For the blues. So let's do this. This will be like a super simple lick, right? So I'm gonna slide into the A. I'm gonna start playing Stairway to Heaven, right? So 7D, 5G, 5B. And then back to the G string, 5, 6, back to A. So, ooh, did you hear that synergy right there? So work on feeling this and making whatever version of your stank face is. See, I suck my lips so far into that's my, I go,
oh, I see.
Like that. And you get mean, you get that mean mug. So feel the blues is a tip.
Hey, now I got a question for you.
Yeah?
If you were gonna then play a lick like that over top of the 4 chord, what would you do?
I would just do the exact same thing.
And then when the 5 chord comes?
I'm just moving it.
Beautiful.
There you go. You don't have to think about, staying in the key. You just move it.
Yeah. Great things about guitar.
Yeah, exactly. Amazing. Piano players need not apply.
My turn for a tip.
Yeah. Here's another tip.
Okay. I'm going back to the 4 chord for this one. So a lot of the things that I have kind of revolve around the 4, it looks like.
It's classy,
but,
I think,
So this one is you add a bit of a different time to it. Like you add a bit of a different rhythm. So if you kind of keep a pretty steady ba 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 over your other chords, it's just an 8-note thing. Ba 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 ba. When you go to your 4 chord, if you start doing triplets there, it really differentiates that and adds a bit of a different sound to that.
Yeah, it changes up the whole vibe of it.
Yeah.
And I think that's it because there's gonna be some rocky parts in life. Sometimes things will go smoothly.
And then it feels great when you go back to that steady heartbeat rhythm. Ba 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 ba.
Lock into it.
It's got a nice contrast there.
Man, I love it. I feel like that's enough tips for today. That's enough tips for the people to handle. You think so?
Yeah, the other one would be like make sure you gotta tune your guitar every now and then.
I mean, but also not.
Hey, it's the blues.
Sometimes blues is a little bit out of tune. Woo! These guitars are awesome, by the way. This is a Martin J40. This is like my favorite acoustic guitar you have, and you got
the D45.
J45. J45?
Yeah, definitely the J45.
Yeah.
I've been referring to these.
It's okay.
These guitars as the wrong guitar.
We shot a video of us trying to track some of these guitars blindfolded. So that's why you got to go subscribe to his channel because that's gonna be coming out.
What's a D45 is a thing? No,
yeah,
D is Martin's.
Martin.
Oh man.
But that's why this is weird because this is a Martin J, which is
that's what throws me off because this one's it's a J40.
J40, yeah.
Yeah, this is the J45.
Yeah. Again, it's not about knowing what guitars you own. It's about feeling them and putting your hands on them. Let's play them out. 2, 3, 4. Thank you, Skillshare. Sign up for your free trial. Get that free trial blues.